We all know that when a Space Marine is in a near-death state or can somehow be revived after a battle, their bodies are placed inside of a cybernetic sarcophagus called a Dreadnought. These Dreadnoughts are armed with the Imperium's deadliest weapons so that the Battle Brothers entombed inside can continue to serve humanity even in their death. However, the design of the modern-day Dreadnought is not the first or even the best Dreadnought pattern in existence. One of the most powerful Dreadnoughts is the Contemptor pattern Dreadnought. This ancient relic predates the Imperium of Man and was a powerful weapon used during the Unification War, when the Emperor of Mankind still walked amongst humanity. And with that said, I want to welcome you guys back to another 40 Facts about the 40K universe. I am your host, Gersh1, and today we're going to be talking about the Contemptor pattern Dreadnought. If you guys are new to the channel, we post Warhammer 40K lore videos every single day. If you guys have any suggestions for topics or any questions about the 40K universe, let me know what it is in the comment section below and I'll try to create a video for you guys. And if you enjoy our content, hit the like button, share with your friends. It tells YouTube that you want to see more of this type of content. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Contemptor pattern Dreadnought. Evidence of their ancient origins exists in the form of sacred chapter Memento Mori and other imperial monuments raised long ago on worlds such as Necromunda and Loran Alpha. This suggests that the Contemptor pattern Dreadnought played an integral part in the earliest Astartes forces raised on Terra for the Great Crusade. The Contemptor pattern, much like the technology developed at the dawn of the Imperium of Man, is larger and more powerful than its standard pattern counterparts of today's time. It featured many technological systems that were found in the combat robots of the ancient legal cybernetica, including such fabled techno-arcana as automatic field generator technology that would later be refined and incorporated into the storm shields used by the Astartes warriors. What made the Contemptor pattern Dreadnought so different than the current day Dreadnoughts, at least from the visual perspective, is its interesting design of the Dreadnought's head. The oversized metal helm possesses precious cargo of sensory nodes, visual aspects, and pict finders linked to the corpse that is deep within the Dreadnought. The Contemptor was given the simulated head to focus its pilot's awareness forward. It helped to create an impression within the corpse neurological sensory input and output that it was still alive, for it saw the outside world just as it had seen on the battlefield. From a human perspective, albeit from a much taller vantage point than what the wounded Astartes inside was used to, it gave him that concept of self. The standard Contemptor pattern Dreadnought was outfitted with a twin-linked heavy bolter attached to one arm and a massive Dreadnought close combat weapon in the other. It also had a built-in twin-linked bolter, smoke launcher, and searchlights to complete the standard weapon loadout. These standard weapon complements could be replaced with a number of different weapons to suit different tactical needs, including a multi-melta, a set of twin-linked autocannons, a plasma cannon, a power-leeching heavy conversion beam, a chain fist with a built-in twin-linked bolter, or simple heavy flamers, plasma blasters, and graviton guns. Some Contemptors are outfitted with extra armor plating which allows them to have a carapace-mounted Havoc missile launcher, but for the most part, all Contemptors are protected by their advanced adamantic shielding which generates a protective gravitic shield around the walker thanks to their advanced adamantic power generator. It can provide great protection from both range and melee attacks for the walker. However, when it's damaged, the adamantic power generator can overload, and the result is a devastating miniature atomic explosion that destroys everything around the Contemptor. Now, all of these different weapon loadouts ended up creating different sub-patterns of Contemptor Dreadnoughts. There were three main ones, starting with the Contemptor Incendious Dreadnought. Similar in most respects to the widely used Contemptor chassis, the Incendious differed in one key aspect, the external Incendious booster pack secured on its back. This volatile single-burn plasma engine was powerful enough to decelerate the Dreadnought in a fall from low orbit, or to propel it in the shallow deeps at significant velocity despite the bulk of its armor and the ceramite endoskeleton. The Blood Angels Legion used this sub-pattern the most as it served exclusively as a shock assault unit, and that's because the half-dead warrior entombed within suffered none of the disorienting effects from the booster pack. As soon as this Dreadnought made planetfall, it just absolutely destroyed the enemies in close combat. Because of this role, they were usually equipped with flamers or the talons of predation, both weapons that were really good for melee. The main goal of this sub-pattern was to secure a heavily contested drop zone for its battle brothers. Those enemies that survived the impact of its arrival were given no opportunity to fortify their position or to fall back in good order just because of the ferociousness and the speed of this Dreadnought. The other really distinct sub-pattern of Contemptor Dreadnought was the Quartus Dreadnought. It was first created during the ancient Olonor Crusade against the Orc Empire of Olonor. They were used to replace the battlefield losses inflicted during the Great Crusade, and with limited supply. So this pattern was created from damaged or wrecked examples of the highly successful original Contemptor pattern. It utilized many of the same basic components. However, a large number of the more sophisticated systems and subsystems were replaced with robust, if less potent replacements that could be more easily fabricated in the field of battle during the Olonor Crusade. The result was a war machine with its own unique strengths and combat characteristics, but also with a reputation for instability. After the conclusion of the Olonor campaign, the Quartus pattern was phased out almost entirely from the Imperial arsenal, with the surviving examples of the Quartus either decommissioned or put into permanent slumber. It wasn't until the Horus Heresy where these Contemptor Quartus patterns would be resurrected by the interstellar civil war that was occurring. And the last sub-pattern of Contemptor Dreadnought we're going to talk about is the Mortis Dreadnought. It was a highly mobile weapon platform for its battle brothers. They were highly valued for their ability to endure under heavy enemy fire and to operate in locations or theaters of war where traditional combat support vehicles would just be impractical or downright impossible to use. The Contemptor Mortis sub-pattern used a more advanced Contemptor chassis. It was a potent carrier of heavy weapons. It was able to target and destroy the enemy at close range, and was also outfitted with an advanced Helican targeting array, which allowed it to provide Space Marine spearhead forces with close anti-air support when needed. What's awesome about this sub-pattern is that 10 millennia later, the remaining Contemptor Mortis Dreadnoughts are still used as dedicated anti-aircraft support. They are holy relics, but they can destroy aircraft like no other. During the Horus Heresy, and then right afterwards during the Great Scouring, they bore the brunt of the fighting, which meant that a lot of these Contemptor Dreadnoughts suffered the heaviest casualties. And like so many of the Imperium's most advanced and sophisticated war machines of that era, the ability to manufacture and maintain the Contemptor design was essentially lost to the chaotic aftermath of the Heresy. The few Contemptor Dreadnoughts that still exist in the 42nd millennium are incredibly rare pieces of archaeotech, even in comparison to their fellow Dreadnoughts. But when they take to the field, it is a living reminder of the golden age of the Imperium, when the Emperor still walked amongst mankind, and the foes of humanity tremble at the sight of its ancient glory. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate signing out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.